Aloha, it's your boy Frank, and it's here, yes, Farpoint is here, and along with it, our new best friend, the PlayStation VR aim controller. But does it live up to the hype, or is it just another first-person shooter in a genre that's gone stale, repetitive, and outdated? Let's dive in for ourselves, because it's review time, baby. And today we're hopping through a wormhole and crash landing on a foreign planet for our in-depth Farpoint review. Now, this title has been at the top of my list since announcement. I mean, first-person shooter games are what got me into online gaming, and the promise of a true virtual reality version sounded extremely enticing. I mean, who doesn't want to check out from their standard routine for an hour and become an action hero on an alien planet? I mean, come on. But seriously, it's been promised to us on countless occasions, and I don't just mean with VR, I mean a truly immersive first-person shooter. Now, Farpoint might not be the gift from the digital gods we've all been waiting for, but I think it more than lives up to the hype. But as always, don't just listen to me, let's take a look. Story. Before we hop into the meat of all this, I'd like you to know I'm playing on PlayStation 4 Pro with a physical copy of the AIM bundle that I personally purchased after trying 3 24-hour Walmarts and waiting outside Target for an hour. Now, with that out of the way, let's hop into the story. First off, if you're expecting an extremely compelling narrative that will have you gripping the edge of your seat and crying out with tears of enjoyment, you won't find that here. The story works as a means to transport you along a series of arena-like shooting galleries. It's not bad and it has a bit of mystery to it, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy they offered a skip the cutscenes feature. Although, I must say, on the visual fidelity side of things, they truly are phenomenal. With some sequences, you're dropped in as a quiet observer in the other character's world, and although what was being said didn't grip me, silently watching the interaction and observing the environments really is a cool feeling, and truly is gorgeous for something this early in the PSVR's lifespan. Visuals. That discussion really leads us to the visuals, which were surprisingly good. I mean, it's not comparable to a AAA current-gen flat game, but it could easily stand up to something lower budget, yet still current-gen. The sky and environments look phenomenal, the character models are top-notch, and the overall quality stays pretty solid throughout most of the gameplay. Now, don't get me wrong, this baby ain't perfect. Some enemies can get a bit pixelated and hard to see at further draw distances, and on a number of occasions I could see textures load in as I move closer, but nothing that could ever bother you enough to disrupt gameplay. But overall, the guys and gals at Impulse Gear did a superb job putting together a solid game, and you can truly see the time and effort that went into this final product. Audio. Now, this leads us to the audio, which, as you know, can easily make or break a VR game, and I'm happy to say that Farpoint truly does nail it in the audio department. From the fantastic soundtrack to the wonderful sound effects, I was truly immersed in the world of Farpoint, and with the added options to adjust the in-game sounds, you can create the perfect mix to suit your playthrough. But Frank, we get it, it looks good, it sounds good, but how does the damn game play? Gameplay. This baby handles like a dream. With all my playthroughs, I use the PlayStation AIM controller, and although you can use the DualShock 4, I highly recommend using the AIM. It really is what sets this game apart from everything else out there. Now, I won't go into the specifics of the AIM controller because I have another video on that, but I will say that it is wonderful. At first, I was having a few issues with the play area, but after watching the Impulse Gear video regarding setup, I made mine match, and boom, I never had another issue. I'll link that video in the description. Sure, it glitched out and got stuck every now and again, but it's nothing a little waving my arm around couldn't fix, and it never really hurt my overall experience. Aiming down sights just feels fantastic, and throwing the aim over your shoulder to switch weapons and pulling out your precision rifle to take out a rocket drone with a single headshot is pretty amazing. I really can't get enough of the gameplay, and after you're done with the 3 to 6 hour campaign, you can replay the main story missions with challenge modes that increase the amount of enemies, enables a time restriction, and adds a shoot and score based multiplier system that turns each level into a much more exciting ride. The enemies are far more varied than I initially anticipated. My only issue was where I believe they really expanded on types of spider enemies. The others are not as heavily developed. I really enjoyed hiding behind a wall and peeking out to find an alien trying to flank me and ducking for cover as well. I loved all the shooting, which with the added rumble from the aim makes extremely satisfying, but the humanoid encounters were my personal favorite. Most enemies are not too difficult to tackle, but with the lack of any HUD and sheer numbers overwhelming you, some levels can get a bit trickier than others, and with no real difficulty options or aim assist, it's kind of up to you. I do wish they offered some sort of life meter, or at the very least an option to see what level of difficulty you're playing on, but those are small issues and, like my problems before, really don't affect the overall game. Now, don't get me wrong, this game can get tough, and I spent more than a few tries trying to clear out some areas, but once you get the feel for taking cover and peeking out, blind firing and switching between hip fire and aiming down sights, you'll be blasting aliens away in no time. Most of the guns also offer a secondary fire mode, or in the case of the plasma rifle, a shield. They also don't require any ammo, but some overheat, and other than the auto rifle, all require reloading. Now, the campaign and challenge mode are great, but once you've shot your way through those, it's time for co-op. And I do highly recommend playing a campaign first, so you understand the subtle nuances of the firefights. Otherwise, you'll be dead in no time with a grumpy buddy left to fight off the hordes alone. Multiplayer. Like I said a moment ago, the true fun lies in a co-op, and boy is it great. First off, I love the lobby. Now, every time you boot up the game after first time playing, you'll be here, and it's such a great space. Not only can you move around the entire area, but it also has a little basketball mini game that you can play with the toys and gear laying around your in-game desk. It's a nice little addition and makes waiting for one of the 4 levels to load up much more enjoyable. Like I said, there are 4 levels as well as 4 different levels of difficulty. My personal favorite is a chaos mode. It's not that much more difficult, you just get more enemies, which leads to higher combos and higher scores on the leaderboards. Now, each level is 2-player co-op, and as of now, that's the largest number of players allowed. You start by landing in a level, and you must move through the gated off areas to transport ships in the distance. Each area is filled with cover spots and different routes that allow for a solid cover of the entire area. I really do suggest playing with a mic though, because it's a much better experience when you can communicate with your partner. It makes it much easier for your teammate to know you need a revive, which is done by pressing L1. And you'll need them alive because it takes no time to get overwhelmed. You choose your loadout before entering the level, but as you play there are various weapons strewn around that you can pick up as you see fit. I typically go with the precision rifle / shotgun combo, but I like the auto rifle and have been playing around and enjoying the plasma rifle a bit more lately. All in all, I really do love the co-op. I just wish you didn't have to leave the game to accept an invite, and I did encounter a bug that wouldn't let me play co-op on my secondary account that doesn't have PS Plus. I spoke to Impulse Gear and they said it's something they're looking into, so hopefully it doesn't become a widespread problem. And when I go back on my normal account, I had no problem playing. Drift. Now, I won't say this baby's perfect, but I will say that it does correct itself very easily. While going into and coming out of cutscenes, I found that my gun froze quite a bit and would sometimes need a little shaking to get back to tracking properly. Although, when it's back on, it really is 1-to-1. They did a wonderful job with this title. Motion sickness. Now, I didn't get sick, but I talked to tons of gamers, and it seems like the consensus for this one is pretty solid. I've heard a person here and there that had issues, but I think they may have been newer VR gamers or people that just couldn't get over the VR legs. If you typically don't get any sickness, except for in the most extreme cases, you really shouldn't have any issues. I mean, you are completely in control, and if you'd like, they offer 5 different comfort modes to find a right fit for you. I like to play on smooth and 11, and my favorite little thing about this game is that when you hold the option for a second, it shows where the camera in your room is, making it much easier to get turned around without taking off the headset. Value. I got this baby bundle with the aim controller for $87, which means the game was really only around $25. Considering the aim alone is around $63, it means this deal is the deal of the century. Not only did I get another amazing peripheral that I have already used and loved with another game, but Farpoint truly is something else, and even with all the little issues here and there, it's a joy to play. But let's say you don't get the bundle and you just buy the game alone for $50. I really do think it's worth it. Not only are you getting a solid campaign, but with the added co-op and challenge modes, there's a whole bunch of replayability, and I really do think it's worth the admission. Plus, who knows what kind of DLC we could get in the future. Verdict. This baby is visually stunning, the audio sucks you in, the gameplay truly is next level and keeps me yearning for more, the co-op multiplayer is more than I could have asked for, and it all sits on a solid foundation that doesn't leave me feeling sick or ready to take off my headset right away. So if you still wonder what my verdict about this is, well, I gotta say it's another must buy with Frankie's seal of excellence. Not only is the aim controller a game changer, but paired with Farpoint, the road to that dream first person shooter game seems much shorter than ever before.
Oh shit!
Alright, I hope you enjoyed that one, and right now I'm doing a giveaway for a custom aim controller skin. Check it out behind me, looks really cool. I'm pretty sure the final's gonna look something like this, but I will definitely let you know before we send it out. The link is in a giveaway. Also, my buddy Rowdy Guy, who covers VR content as well on his channel, is doing a Farpoint bundle giveaway, and I'll link that one in the description as well. And your boy Frank has also got some t-shirts, so if you're interested in your very own PSVR Frank t-shirt, the link is in the description as well. Now, thank you all for coming through. You're amazing. You're a beautiful audience. I wouldn't be here without you. But more important than all of that, if you want to stay up to date on everything PlayStation VR and you don't mind this ugly mug, friggin' subscribe. I mean, come on. Da-da-dum. Thank you.